in May. Consumers are more secure in their jobs. I see some of that, and also at the same time, it's a little different situation out there. Millenniums, a mix of, demographics mix of shoppers also help the outlook. Millenniums are spending again. They are spending higher, seeing higher starting salaries, better job growth there. Some of that has changed. Another plus for consumer outlook is lower energy prices. They have crept up in the recent weeks, but they are going down. We'll look at that. When asked why consumers were being thrifty, 46% of economists, this is on the Wall Street Journal, thought the focus on savings was temporary. Most thought the gas savings would be spent eventually. David Sami of Decision Economics said because of money savings now will support spending in the future. A return of consumers would power economic output. The average forecaster thinks inflation-adjusted gross domestic product expand at 2.6% rate in Q2, then for 3% in the second half. That is a little bit optimistic there. He could do that. We'll wait and see. Don't want to commit myself. A few economists also cite the Greek financial crisis and the nation's possible exit from the Eurozone. Brakemanship in debt negotiation could spur financial panic. That's very true. Now, that is one of the problems, and that's from David Crown of the National Association of Home Builders. One of the problems that you have, the way the market is set up today, that any very minute thing, now this is from an American perspective, not from the perspective of the Europeans in the EU and particularly in Germany and the UK. The exit of Greece is, in our most humble opinion, more psychological than perhaps it would be otherwise. Now, there obviously would be some debate as to how that would occur, but at the same time, it's very, very possible that it would be seen and in the vernacular spook the markets, and that we'll get to in just a minute here. The American market, now the domestic market, talking about automobiles and other things, that is a lot of pinned up demand. We've seen quite a few new motor cars tooling around across America, at least when we're out on the road. The talks in Greece, and this is from the Wall Street Journal's perspective, have in fact collapsed. And let's get to that now, since we were working more or less from the out in here, and we'll go to the overview here. Greek shares fall after latest talks break down. Well, that's to be expected. The benchmark ATG index fell 5.9% on Friday, was down 6.5% this morning, Monday. The EU Commission spokesman said while progress was made at Sunday's talks, significant gaps remain. Europe wants Greece to make spending cuts worth 2 billion euros. That's 1.44 billion pounds to unlock bailout money, literally. Greek bank stocks were hit hardest hit on Monday morning, with the Athens Stock Exchange index falling 12%. The National Bank of Greece fell 10.9%, and the Bank of Paradis plunged 15%. More widely, shares across Europe were lower on heightened fear of a default and messy Greece exit from the Eurozone. Greece must repay 1.5 billion euro loan to the IMF by the end of June. Not possible if it does not work. The, of course, Greek Prime Minister there, Alexis Tsipras, warned that Athens will stand its ground. They have no other option, period. Greece owes 6.74 billion euros. That's in June, and 5.95 euros in July, and 4.38 billion euros in August. The total numbers here for Greece, 320 billion in the numbers. The Greek debt amounts 240 billion euros. They owe Germany, that's Greece, 56 billion euros, and this is where the thing gets very interesting. That's 177% of the country's debt to GDP ratio. Now, 25% fall in GNP. That's Greece since 2013. They've been in a depression. The unemployment rate official is at 26% in Greece. So we are in a situation, I said we, in a generic we, in Greece that involves the whole of the euro. So that is the latest there, and it no doubt will affect many other things. Now, the FTSE 100 is down on the Greek. Well, this is from BBC. We'll throw this in before we do that. The benchmark FTSE index was down at 34.55, or 0.41% there. The European market suffered more than London, with Germany's DAX down 1.2%. In Paris, they were down 1%. Asian markets were also depressed there, and we'll get that. On the currency market, the pound was down 0.21 against the dollar. That would be at 1.5528, and the euro at 1.382. So that is where the financial situation, as far as the markets in Europe this morning, are right at this point in history, and it's not going to be a pretty situation evidently today. I think we'll go at this stage and do the numbers, and perhaps we'll come back if we need to. But this information here is the newest that we have, and let's just grab these markets here, and we gave the FTSE 100 is excuse me, is down 42.94. In Amsterdam, all these are money unless otherwise noted. They're down 2.88. The DAX is down 121.94. In Paris, they're down 32.15. Excuse me. In Brussels, they're down 33.60. In Madrid, 96.30. In Zurich, 57.42. In Moscow, they're down 5.57. In Johannesburg, that was on Thursday in Moscow, incidentally. Zurich was on Monday. Johannesburg on Friday, 294.82, down also. In Bombay this morning, 195.24 in the positive. In Karachi on Friday, 89.89. In Lahore also on Friday, 36.98. In Colombo, 9.76. And today in Tehran, 82.10, not affected there. In Sydney this morning also, they were down 10.7 The Nikkei is also down 19.29. In Hong Kong, the Hang Seng is down 118.73. In Shanghai, today also they're down 103.36. The Dow on Monday was down 144.53. The Nasdaq was also down 131.41, and the Merck, that's a commodities market, out in the Midwest city of Chicago, was down 14.75. And in San Pablo, they were also down on Friday, 340.99. In Mexico on Friday, they were at 67.76. So things were looking up in Mexico, but that was about all one could speak about. To the oil market here, petro down 31 cents. This is Brent crude at futures at $64.33. The spot is down 37 cents at 64.62. West Texas Intermediate crude down 28 cents at $59.67. T-Boone pickers jump for joy there. He was $15 a barrel. Oil. Coffee down $2.10. Gold on the Forex futures, that is, down $1.25 at $1,179.25. Dubai down $2.10 at $1,179.50 there. Silver's up 6 cents at $15.93. The CBOT futures, well, corn, down. This is a bushel, $3.50. Sounds like the farm report when I lived out in Chicago. Soybean, oil down 15 cents. And let's see what else we can find here. Coffee, Robusta coffee futures, down $2. So this is the out, the in here. Concern in the markets, no doubt there'll be further concern. We'll be monitoring very, very closely the situation in Greece and those debt negotiations as we are on the 15th of June. Here there's not very little leeway. The problem there is a political situation in that in Greece they just cannot go any deeper into austerity. That is a problem and will continue to be a problem. Now, the question here, let me get this S&P outlook here. I was looking at this earlier today. Standard & Poor's cuts its outlook for the UK economy. This is the type of news that reverberates across the pond. Now, this is about the EU referendum represents a risk to growth prospects for the country's economy. That's S&P sent a statement out. It changed its outlook to negative from stable, but kept its current rating the same responding to the move. The Treasury said, we are the first to say that this is a time of heightened risk. Now, this is the other factor in there, including Greece, and what will happen in the UK. Will they leave the euro too? Or actually not the euro, leave the European community. The S&P is the only major rating agency from BBC to give the UK a top rating, and that is in the question itself of AAA. The other two, Moody's and Fitch, downgraded the UK in 2013. Earlier this week, the independent watchdog, the Bureau of Budget Responsibility, warned that years more spending cuts would be needed in order to bring the national debt under control. And this was a big issue in the last campaign. And we have not really seen the full effects of the budget in the UK. They have been doing austerity there for a number of years, but this is one of the big problems, not only in